Nathan. Millsy, fix it. No free ones in our back line. You can be free until it gets there. Junior, you're going to jump if it goes. Lyles, you're going to get to the poster if it goes. Wait, don't cheat. Wait. Now. Good. Lyles, you ready? Junior, get there. It's better. Get ready. Pressure on the ball. Don't guess. Riley, run. Just run, Riley. Good. Pressure on the ball. Slow down. Come on. Support the ball. Marcus! Come on.
What do you mean in the shed spice it? Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, that's it. They're going to play on field. Yeah. Oh, you use it. Yeah. Millie was helping you like train a couple of weeks ago.
No, that was different. I was here 3 weeks ago for FC versus Bucko.
That was a good game. Spicy.
That was spicy. Yeah. I didn't know Bucko was yeah.
does the cameraman the main body as an Excel thing.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And how far out can I come before I mean, like, can I get to about here? Is that okay? Yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll just hover around here if that's okay.
Honestly, they go live, so for the most part, like when they're maybe doing a toss or something,
Okay. Or as they're emerging from the tunnel?
or honestly whenever you are ready to go. Because yeah, I don't control the live aspect. They just go live. They're live right now. They just go the whole screen.
Right.
But when people walk out, when the players walk out, then
Yeah. And the audio's on too as well.
audio is just on the whole time, except the half. Do they play music?
Before the game, they'll do it like not much music. The Rockdale game.
Yeah. Because yeah, you get
It's a good evening from the Illiton Sports Centre, where we open round 7 with a battle of the students. The students from the University of New South Wales taking on the students of the Sydney FC Academy in NPL men's first grade. The home side will be looking to bounce back after their heartbreaking injury time loss against league leaders Sydney United 58 last week. It's been a tough start to life in the top flight for UNSW. They come to town still looking for their first win. Could tonight be the night? I'm Tony Solano. It's great to have your company on the NPL New South Wales YouTube channel, where we have 3 valuable points on the line tonight. Sydney FC in their sky blue, University of New South Wales in the yellow and the black. The lone NPL New South Wales men's fixture this evening, so your Friday night is sorted. It's another big round as teams jostle for position. The man in charge tonight is Ethan Zavagoulis. The captains in the middle deciding the toss, determining which way they will run. Sydney FC, very strong start to the NPL season. They won 3 of their first 4 games. Off the back of that, though, 2 straight losses, so they're looking to break the duck tonight. For UNSW, 2 draws in their 6 fixtures, still awaiting that first win. They've been close a couple of times, got some really good results. Sydney FC, 2 of their 3 wins coming at home here at the Illiton Sports Centre, so they'll be fancying their chances. For UNSW yet to get a result on the road, be aiming for that as a starting point tonight. Sydney FC currently in 8th position, just shy of the top 6. UNSW 2 points. They need to get a move on in the relegating 15th position out of 16 at the moment. It'll be Sydney FC to kick us off here tonight. Team lineups very shortly. In the middle, Joe Lacey and also Rorowski. There is the referee's whistle. We are away here in Sydney South. Sydney FC and UNSW FC live here on NPL New South Wales YouTube channel. Those 2 sides for Sydney FC. Gus Hoofslot, here's the goalkeeper tonight. Lachlan Middleton, Reef Farias and Jordan Graharowski are in the team, as is Waturo Camijo and Tay Headley. Jared Middleton, the captain. Joe Lacey, along with Mitchell Glasson, Zachary De Jesus and Tyler Williams. On the bench for Sydney FC, Zach Fowler, Samuel Lancaster, Corey Cronin, Marin France, Nicholas Alfaro and Alex Zavadinos is the backup goalkeeper. They are coached by Jimmy Van Weeren. For UNSW, Tristan Prendergast in goals, Emilio Vinci, Liam Wood and Grant Lynch to start, along with Jack Fulton, Lachlan Campbell and Corby Fowler. Jyden Harb, Oliver Pufflet, Alex Malfara and Jill Duffy round out the starting side. On the bench, Nathan Roberts, Cassius Flavel is the backup goalkeeper. Kai Kamikura, Connor Quilligan and Thomas Hayes make up the rest of the team. They're coached by Gabe Knowles. Sydney FC early doors. Nice ball over the top from Lacey. It's a little bit too strong. Both sides trying to find their bearings early. Opening minutes to start NPL New South Wales men's round 7. UNSW have showed some really good promise in their first games, of course promoted as the winners of League One. Beat out Southern Districts, who was also promoted in this game. Here they go forward. UNSW, their first real chance. Harb crosses it in, that was blocked. They'll get the throw. So a first time matchup between these 2 sides. I'm sure UNSW are very excited to test themselves against the Sydney FC Academy. Future stars and very bright lights. Ball hooked into the middle and cleared away just as quickly. All the way back to the goalkeeper, Tristan Prendergast, former Blacktown City, Sydney United 58, also part of the Sydney FC Academy way back when. So a number of these players from UNSW have tasted the academy. UNSW controlling possession early in this one. Trying to find a way through, trying to break down the young Sky Blues. Farias nods it back, and Hoofslot does really well to keep that one in, otherwise that would have been a corner. Gus Hoofslot was an unused sub on Tuesday in Sydney FC's A-League fixture against Melbourne Victory. Sydney FC did go down in that game 1-0, but congratulations to Ryan Grant, who played his 400th A-League game. Nice interchange of passing from Sydney, but that's intercepted. UNSW doing a good job snuffing out the young Sky Blues early. Middleton plays wide for his twin brother. That was Lachlan to Jared. They combine once more. Operating in that midfield, Camijo gets involved too. To release and play wide, Sydney. Ball up the line. Lynch shooting it. But well done from Sydney to win it back. And into the box they go. This is dangerous. Camijo. Wanted Lacey to turn, very inventive. But no real threat coming from the Sydney FC forward. Ball intercepted. Sydney FC back on the attack again, just starting to control the rhythm of this game. Because Sydney FC pushed the league leaders, Sydney United 58, all the way last week. Different story for UNSW, going down 1-0. Goal to Jordi Perez on 20 minutes. Away from home. They're on the road again. UNSW, here they go. Connecting some really good passes. This looks promising. Wood heads over halfway. The Sky Blues sitting back, waiting to see what University has to offer. Lynch, neat pass looking for Harb. It was intercepted. Vinci. Heading forward, nice turn. Harb, still on the ball. Vinci this time, couldn't get power with the shot. So it's taken rather meekly by Hoofslot. Both these teams look up for this one. Of course, a very valuable 3 points on the line. For UNSW, a win to really cement themselves in this league will be so important. Another throw for the home side. Lacey takes the second ball. De Jesus with the throw. Nice turn from Middleton. Farias. Ball flicked on. Malfara wins the throw for his side. Early doors from Sydney FC and UNSW. Nice switch, but it was intercepted momentarily. Recovered well, the visitors. Nice flick on. Harb dropping back in. Here is some nice play. Vinci heading forward, looking to hook in across. Just over the head of the intended targets. Heavy touch, which means a throw for UNSW. Well, they're looking to settle here. Look like they're measuring their passes a little bit better to start this game. Of course, the Sydney FC Academy under 21s. 61 graduates and counting have graduated from the academy to get professional contracts. Likes of Segacic, Patrick Yazbek, the list goes on. Cam Devlin in that list too. Jyden Harb whipped into the middle, headed away. Wood headers forward. Still there. Couldn't get a good connection on that ball. Oliver Pufflet, another who's had plenty of NPL first grade experience. Ollie Pufflet, over 100 games for Sydney Olympic. Stints with Rockdale as well. So although UNSW recently promoted, they do have that NPL experience. Going back to those graduates, of course, Diego Quintal lighting it up in the A-League at the moment, just recently graduated from the academy, playing in the A-League. Akola Khan as well. Great game in the derby. The Sky Blues head forward. De Jesus, nice ball in, but the block just as good from Uni. Farias just getting some instructions from coach Jimmy Van Wieren, and we've reached the first corner of the night. It's a short one for Lacey. Hooks it to the back post. Headed down into the danger zone. Borowski gets that one on target, but not really threatening. Pufflet on the counter. Brings it down. Nice interchange of passing. Harb's got space and time. Jyden Harb cutting back inside. The numbers game for Sydney FC, proving a struggle. Ball floated to the back post. Well taken over the head of Huslot. Headley plays forward. Looks for Borowski. Grant Lynch, so seasoned. Part of that Blacktown City backline for such a long time. The likes of Lachlan Campbell, who of course is playing for UNSWFC tonight. It's so good when you can buy players who play together regularly over seasons. Really shores up that connection. The defence for UNSW this year has been quite good. It's been the attack where it's been a little bit lacking. Only with 6 goals this season. Third least in the league. Of course, Manly with only 3 goals, so they need to start getting a move on too. Another throw for UNSW. 12 minutes gone, still looking for our first goal here at the Illidan. Who wins it in midfield? Malfara has the ball at his feet. UNSW happy to slow things down. Prendergast looking up. Back into the middle with Malfara. Campbell. Now Wood, that ball intercepted. Headley on the charge, heading forward. Plays Middleton early. Nice ball in. Just a little bit too heavy. Was that a clip? The referee says corner, no penalty. So an early chance. Sydney FC don't like it, but will head to the corner flag instead. So telling moment in this game on 13 minutes. A really good penalty shouts. Waved away by referee Zavuligas. But they've got to get that behind them, Sydney FC. Middleton using his speed to try and get to that ball. Harb, nice touch. Pufflet nods it on. Lacey. De Jesus. Nice tackle from Vinci. Up goes Malfara. Pufflet. A little bit late. Was Fulton to the ball. So Sydney FC appear to have turned the dial up a little bit in the last couple of minutes. Another dangerous opportunity. Grant Lynch talking to his defensive partner, just making sure they stay honest. They don't want to go goal down, UNSW. Love a result tonight. Away from home. They're like gold, aren't they? Results away from home. UNSWFC have 2 of their next 3 at home, so if they can get some points, that'll be helpful, but this won't help. Headley. Glasson for Headley. Plays further wide. Diasus first time. Header high instead of direct, and it's safekeeping for Prendergast. Lachlan Campbell seated in front of his goals. Called out the assistant. But in the last couple of minutes, Sydney FC have begun to mount their charge. Some of the players using his time to get a well-earned drink early. Plenty of big games for you tomorrow on NPL New South Wales YouTube channel for the men's. SD Raiders taking on Manly. Sydney Olympic taking on the Western Sydney Wanderers. Northwest Sydney Spirit taking on Rockdale. Followed by Apia and Sutherland. St George FC against Marconi. That's second versus third. That'll be a good fixture. St George City taking on Wollongong as well. Just the one game on Sunday, but it's the match of the round. Sydney United 58 taking on Blacktown City FC. 2 rivals. For Sydney United 58, 6 from 6. 6 wins in a row. Love to keep up that winning run against rivals Blacktown City. Lachlan Campbell limping towards the touchline. And it looks like he is going to be changed very early in this game. And here comes Kai Kamikura onto the field. So one less substitute for Gabe Knowles to use later in the game. So that one's not tactical. That's injury related. And here is Kamikura. His first involvement. Kai Mikura himself spent time in the Sydney FC Academy. So Coach Jimmy Van Wieren will be very familiar with Kai. Sydney FC starting to own possession. Fulton. Nice ball long, and that's a very bad challenge from Farias. The referee's come over. Fulton is writhing in pain. Happened right in front of UNSW FC. Reeve Farias still with a bewildered look on his face. Clutching his shin, or closer to his ankle. And now the touch judge not taking very kindly to some of the feedback from UNSW FC. So the referee just getting some instruction from his assistant. Lance Greenshields. And then having a look. And it is a red card for Reeve Farias. His night is over on 20 minutes. A challenge on Jack Fulton means that Sydney FC will play the rest of the game with 10 men. It happened very suddenly, to very different reactions from both camps. But it is Reeve Farias who has been sent off on 20 minutes. Fulton still on the ground, clutching his knee. A very messy challenge. Sydney FC trying to get the interpretation and try and argue their case, but it's for very little because they're going to have to move on. Farias, his night is over. So this will be a very challenging time for Sydney FC. They had the running in terms of the attack, you would think, the last 5 minutes, but now they've got to regroup, sit a couple back. Or are they going to go for it? Fulton limping towards the touchline. Be interesting to see if he plays any further parts. Of course, UNSW have already had to use a substitution with Lachlan Campbell going off injured. And now if Fulton has to go off, they've used 2 in the first half. So they're running out of troops. So now, UNSWFC are chasing their first win of the year. And to be honest, it doesn't really matter how it happens. As long as you get it, they'll feel like they've got a really good opportunity tonight. Got to play the long game to University. Lynch playing in the middle of what looks to be a back 3 now. Fowler dropping back in. So 11 for UNSWFC, 10 for Sydney FC. Kamikura. Nice run onto the ball, into the box goes Kamikura. Strong challenge. And that beats everybody over the back, so it'll be a goal kick. Fulton has made his way back onto the field, so running out the injury. That saw Reeve Farias receive a red card. Interesting to see how the Sky Blues play this one. Long ball's more the order of the day. Header, Glasson. Lacey. As we said, Sydney FC, great start to the year, but they've themselves on a 2-game losing run. De Jesus trying to bundle through traffic and wins the free kick. So tension's boiling down at ground level. Minutes ago, a red card issued for Sydney FC. Glasson piling through. The shots just wide. Could have opened the scoring. A whisker away. So a red card could do a couple of things. It can galvanise the troops, which is appearing to be what it's doing for Sydney FC, that quick rush as they face adversity. But it is for UNSW if they're good enough to wear down the young Sky Blues over time and then eventually land that killer blow. Based on earlier results, UNSW, they may not get a better chance to record their first win of the season. Now they're playing with one more man. Ball long, was looking for Harm. That's easy for Hoofsloot. Camijo. Hovering over the ball. The press comes from UNSW FC. Pufflet comes out, but he's beaten. Nice footwork from Camijo. Headley joins in there so quick. Young Sky Blues. Long ball from Headley. Got back in for Glasson. Vinci, the left back. Looking for Pufflet. The young Sky Blues win out. Malfara. Vinci, where a lot of their attack begins. Kamikura with the cross. Cleared away. Corner time for UNSW FC. Their first one of the night. Can it prove fruitful? Plenty in the middle to aim at. Grant Lynch has come forward as well, the defender. Fowler in the box too. Pufflet there. The referee is trying to clean up the efforts in the box. UNSW with their first corner of the night. Curling, good touch from Hoofsloot. They recycle University. Coming. Harb sends it back into the middle again. Camijo was appealing for a touch. It's going to be another corner. Two corners in a row for UNSW. As Harb takes his time getting to the corner flag. This game now on UNSW terms. Now Harb's got to go get that ball. He's left the stadium. And now he's heading behind the container. That's why it's taking a bit of time. The visitors want their own ball. They've got to go find it. Corner to come in. Gave him some thinking time. Jyden Harb. Ready to deliver an in-swinger. Harb bending it away. Head it down. The clearance not deep. Malfara wants Harb to put it back in again. It's a good delivery too. Not quite the result that was required from Fulton. And again, He's on the ground. It's been a tough night for Jack Fulton. Involved in the challenge that resulted in a red card early in the game. Back on his haunches momentarily. He's going to feel this game in the morning, that's for sure. Just over a quarter of the game gone here in Rockdale. No score just yet, but we do have a red card. Reece Farrier sent off for Sydney FC. But it is still the Sky Blues with the ball at their feet. Ball out of place will be a throw for the visitors. Lynch looking up. Kamikura. Quite settled at the back. UNSW. Liam Wood. Fulton holding the ball up. Pufflet sent on a run. Trying to keep it in. Last touch was off the visitors, so it'll be a goal kick. First half an hour to round 7. The NPL New South Wales men's. Again, it's been action-packed since the first kick of the season. Sydney 90-58 out on top. Comes down for Glasson. So strong, Mitch Glasson. Nutmeg through Lynch, but just a little bit too heavy. He's not happy with his efforts there, Mitch Glasson. Definitely one to watch, Glasson. 3 goals this season, the leading scorer for Sydney FC. No other Sydney FC player has scored more than 1 goal this year. And that's a bad challenge from Vinci this time. Straight into the pocket from the referee. And it's a yellow. A lot of feeling here. Laid on Joe Lacey. So Emilio Vinci has got to go into the book. You just think UNSW are on a thin line here. They're already 1 player to the advantage. Anything reckless or out of school, they may lose one as well. Camijo bends it deep. Fulton riding the challenge. UNSW trying to venture forward. Pufflet feeding his midfield. Malfara under pressure. Challenge from behind. So still Sydney FC happy to be aggressive in their defence. Jyden Harp looking the most likely for UNSW. Kamikura trying to find a pass inside. That's a good one. Great turn from Fulton. Down he goes and cleared away by Sydney FC. Great defending. It looked like Middleton from here. That could have easily been 1-0. Danger not averted though. The very important first goal in a game like this. Sydney FC down to 10. The longer they push out University of New South Wales for their first goal, the less in confidence University will be. And if Sydney FC were to get the first goal, they would just drop everybody back and hold that lead. So that's why we're in a very delicate time in this game. Don't look away. It's a chess match, that's for sure. UNSW has the queen checked, but still plenty of game to go. One wrong move, and it can be Sydney FC who get the goal. Alfara. It's almost tackled by Kamikura there. Headley. Kamijo trying to get out of the space. And a lack of concentration there from Kamikura means that Sydney FC get really good territory. Middleton goes all the way back. Slut, the goalkeeper. De Jesus wins a header. Not really menacing for his side. Ten minutes of normal time remaining in the first half. Still no score. Kamijo, well-measured pass. Larorowski. And a free kick for Sydney FC. Setting down camp, the young Sky Blues. Free kick, we saw the hearts broken of Sydney FC last week with a free kick in a similar position, to be fair, for Farah Coco of Sydney United. Can they emulate that and get a much-needed goal? Headley tries to bend it. Prendergast never in any danger. Off the break, Harp couldn't get to it, but it's Pufflet who has the ball at his feet. Switches wide, well weighted. Happy to hold possession. UNSWFC don't need to do anything extravagant. Pufflet finds a good position in the middle. His shot was deflected, so it'll be a corner. Coach Gabe Knowles of UNSWFC has seen 2 promotions in the last 3 years, so he knows what success looks like. Great test for his team against the Sydney FC Academy. Some young stars coming through. Can they jag the first goal here? Jyden Harb at the corner flag. Delivers near post this time. Header into no man's land. And the clearance by Kamijo. Alfara happy to watch it. Go over his head. Harb. Bends it to the back stick. Headed down. Pufflet fakes! And it's a really good reason to do it because Fulton has the first goal. It's an important one. They have the extra player and now they have more of an advantage. Great set piece into the middle for UNSWFC. It started with the corner and then they worked the ball into the middle. Oliver Pufflet showing restraint not to take the shot. Left it for Fulton. And it was expertly done. So Jack Fulton, he's had an eventful first half on the receiving end of a rash challenge and now has the first goal. So a lot of talk in midfield from UNSW. They've got the goal they so desperately craved. Malfara tackled around the waist. really taking a leadership role in that defensive midfield. They know they can't take the foot off the gas. UNSW, they have the goal. They need to make sure they maintain the pressure. They can't concede an equaliser. Got to be switched on. 7 minutes from half-time. Love an insurance policy with that first goal. I'd love to get one more before half-time. I'd put them in a prime position.
Stay inside, Jordan. Stay inside, Jordan. Stay inside, Jordan.
Counter-attack from Sydney FC.
Yes, Kai. Yes, Kai. Yes, Kai. Yes, Kai.
Like to thread the needle for Mitchell Glasson. Fulton holding up the ball. And wins the free kick. Sydney FC coaching staff not happy with that decision. Grant Lynch. Vinci. Now Jyden Harb. Fowler was making a run. Ignored him. Sydney FC happy to clear it away. Prendergast outside his goal. Looking long. Pufflet, nice flick on. Couldn't quite get to Harb. So that front three for UNSW working quite well as a unit. Harb. Sydney FC have noticeably dropped back significantly. Couldn't keep that ball in, Kamikura.
I need to come that deep.
4 minutes of normal time remaining in this first half. Sydney FC content to play out from the back. Williams. Glasson, nice touch. Pufflet just being warned. Impinging on the free kick. Pufflet intercepts. Harb gets it over the top. Pufflet was offside, according to the assistant referee. Jumped the gun there. That could have been heartbreak stations again for Sydney FC. Off Sloot. Back for Camijo again. He'll want that time back over. De Jesus. He'll force the error. So it'll be a throw for UNSW. Lynch. The cry from the bench is they want a goal, another one before half-time. UNSW, but they're going to make sure they don't concede here from Sydney FC. Headley, very neat pass. Grarowski crosses the ball in. Cleared away by Malfara. Fulton got himself into the ground in the first half. Pufflet wins the ball and the free kick. Sydney FC getting really frustrated with some of the officiating tonight. Coach Jimmy Van Weeren giving the fourth official a very hard time about some of these calls, but it'll be a free kick for UNSW.
That's exactly what he said. He said it about our players. He said it about our players, not the referee. Not the referee. Listen to it back from the coverage. That's not what he said.
UNSW delivers to the back stick off legs of Lynch and cleared away. Another corner to come. Was a source of success earlier for University, seeing if they can rekindle that. Feels like we could have brought a few more footballs to the game tonight. Seems like there's a bit of a delay in getting the ball to where it needs to go. Harb still waits at the corner flag. I'm sure he's happy to wait all day. They've got the advantage. UNSW, short corner option. It's taken. Malfara. Harb delivers into the box. Ricochet. And headed behind. We'll go again. Another corner to come. Into injury time now in this first half. Don't want to concede here, Sydney FC. Left foot of Vinci. Standing over the ball. Delivers short for Malfara. Harb from distance. That cross was blocked. We'll get another throw. Now the crowd getting involved, trying to speed this up. 5 minutes of injury time here at the Illidan. It's UNSW with the goal ascendancy. Pressure. Headley does well, and he wins the free kick. And there is a yellow card. Time wasting from Fowler, just being a menace. Fowler down the touchline. Pufflet slides in to snuff it out. That slip over, not part of a surface. It is a bit dewy, but we're expecting plenty of rain in Sydney this week, but it's actually been a perfect day. Great weather, no real breeze to speak of. Lovely temperature for football. Fowler dispossessed. Now an opportunity for Sydney FC. Glasson likes to strike from deep. That time couldn't quite get the ball where he wanted it to go. Ball long, looking for Harb. Well snuffed out by Sydney FC. Glasson under pressure. Glasson, the captain, nice turn. De Jesus can't keep that one in. They're smelling blood in the water here. UNSW right on the stroke of half-time. Pufflets. Play square for Malfara. A real intensity about the game tonight. Quite a bit of spice already. It's been really enjoyable. It's a one goal to speak of, but a red card too. Nice ball from Headley. Played forward, Glasson trying to get in front. Prendergast has it scouted. Vinci looking up. This is round 7. UNSWFC looking for their first win of the year. They've got a goal advantage and a man advantage. Really good opportunity for them. Lynch plays Kamikura, heading forward to the box. Kai Kamikura, his cross was blocked. The last touch off the UNSW winger. Wolf slot. Headed down from Lynch. Who wins it in midfield? It's that second ball. De Jesus this time. Heading into the last plays of this first half. Camijo gets the free kick. Jyden Harb has to move. Referee telling Camijo to hurry along. Middleton. Tay Headley doesn't have a lot of room. And they've forced Sydney FC back. Middleton couldn't bring that one in, so it'll be a throw. One of the last chances for UNSW. They'll have to move quickly if they want to get something effective on target. It's a free kick out of frustration. Borowski. Vinci once again pushes UNSW into the attacking half. Kamikura, it's a well-weighted pass looking for Pufflet. Comes down, Glasson dispossessed. And there is the halftime whistle here at the Illidan Sports Centre. At the break, it is UNSW FC 1 who leads Sydney FC 0. Just the one goal to speak of in the first half. And it came to Jack Fulton of UNSW in the 37th minute. But before that, a red card to Reef Farias, which means that UNSW are playing with 11 players and Sydney FC 10. So it's the visitors, UNSW, searching for their first win of the year. They have the goal advantage and the man advantage. Join us back in about 10 minutes' time to see if they can finish the job and record their first win of the year. Way out for the second half here at the Illidan Sports Centre. At half-time, it is UNSW FC 1 who leads Sydney FC 0. Opening game of round 7 in NPL New South Wales men's first grade. It's the visitors with the advantage. A red card midway through the first half to Reef Farias of Sydney FC, which means the young Sky Blues playing with 10 men for the remainder of this match. UNSW searching for their first win of season 2026, their first win in first grade. Sydney FC see if they can jag a goal back to try and get a result. There is a whistle to commence the second stanza. UNSW looking for their first results on the road. Always tough to travel, but they've held their own here tonight. Been a spicy and intense affair. One, two, up the line. Duffy is able to keep that ball in. Strong challenge on the touchline, but we play on. Amijo, that ball was very dangerous, but worked out effectively enough. Harb looking inside. Teams exchanging possession to start this game. Ball over the top. Garoski. And now we've seen a foul, our first one of the second half. UNSW get the first result in the second half, a free kick. Of course, UNSW in women's first grade as well. Currently sitting in 5th position after 2 games, a win and a draw from their 2 matches. As the UNSW men's team goes forward, drives does Duffy, didn't really catch it, really ended up in the back of the concrete truck. So UNSW 5th in the NPL Women's. Girls play tomorrow, Saturday, March 21. 5 p.m. They'll take on Illawarra Stingrays at the Village Green, so at home. It's great to see both teams in the top flight. Duffy again. Fulton couldn't bring it in. Kamikura did really well to keep that in for the visitors. A lot of their attack generated from the left-hand side. Duffy Malfara. Duffy came over as part of the Apia youth system. His first debut with UNSW. Jayden Harb trying to dance around the byline. Rear goal kick. Sydney FC. Of course, the Sydney FC club is split tonight. Many of the staff here at the NPL men's, but there is Sydney FC playing in the A-League women's as we speak. 86 minutes gone. Taking on Wellington Phoenix. Currently down 3-1. It doesn't look like a good result for the A-League women's. They're currently 11th and struggling. The men aren't doing much better here tonight. Full slot. Very neat. Out of his box. Malfara has players forward. Wanted to link up with Pufflets. Lynch staying up the UNSW defence. Lynch. Vinci plays Kamikura. Left footed cross was blocked. We'll go behind for our first corner of the second half for UNSW. Already have a goal. They'd love to double their advantage. Over goes Harp trying to get the ball. Harp from the corner flag. Bends it towards the back post. Well taken. Wolfslut sends Headley on the run. Great defending by Malfara. And one of their best tonight for UNSW, both in attack and defence. Sebastian Malfara. Two of the season campaigners. Grant Lynch and Sebastian Malfara. Vinci looking up the line. UNSW happy to knock it around. Take their time. Fowler. Mikura put it back into midfield as Harb drops in. Want to play the possession game as Sydney FC sit back. Don't want to concede again. So Sydney FC quite deep at this stage. Malfara, how good are they at breaking them down? Glasson trying to get onto Wood. Prendergast didn't quite find Vinci. Lacey. 1-2 wins it back, Joe Lacey. Ball hooked over the top. Duffy, nice touch. Harb, return serve. Here it is with Duffy. Looking up, wants options. Malfara gets involved. Good turn. Loading himself up. Fowler took a deflection. Wolfslut does enough to save. Kamijo. Grarowski. Nice ball along the carpet. Lynch. Great defending. Midfield is open for UNSW, but poor control as they give it away. Pufflet nods it wide. Glasson. Nice footwork, Mitch Glasson. Down the touchline. Headley. It's a strong challenge and a free kick. So Sydney FC finally get some good ball. Down in their attacking zone. Headley and Lacey sizing up this free kick. Two-man wall to contend with. Headley plays Lacey. Thought about putting it into the box. Nice turn from Lacey. The deflection was from his own player. Headley heading towards the box. Trying to dance around defenders. Tay Headley, neat pass, coming forward. No contact in the box. There's a referee. Lynch has his hands full. Sydney FC's recover the ball. Lacey chips it to the back post. But they couldn't put the header on targets. Indecision in the box. Almost cost UNSW there. The Sydney FC substitutions have been told to go warm up. We could see some movement very shortly. Switch from Fulton, the goal scorer, finds Kamikura. Wood. Fulton, nice ball for Harb. Trying to use neat footwork. Middleton. Middleton's combining again, but their pass intercepted. Fulton, he's cross-blocked. The throw to come for Duffy. Off body, Duffy. Crossed it to the back post. Kamikura arrived late. Harb. Play square for Malfara. Kamikura delivers across. Off the body of Harb. And eventually gets to safety from Sydney FC. Glasson knocks it back into midfield. That time it'll be a free kick. And there's some untoward behaviour. Mitch Glasson in the face of who appeared to be Kai Kamikura. Looks like they've shook hands and it's blown over. Some real physicality and intensity about tonight's game. They know what's on the line. 3 valuable points. Sydney FC trying to break a 2-game losing run. Camijo. Lacey off the chest of Glasson, brings it down. And a shot well blocked by Prendergast. Had to be made. But it's not over for Sydney FC. Headley. 1-2. Second touch too heavy. Want to go again, Middleton. Nice floating ball. Lynch snuffs that one out. Despite playing with 10 men, Sydney FC still look quite dangerous when they head forward. That'll please coach Jimmy Van Wieren, who hasn't gone to his substitutes bench just yet. There's already one substitution made by UNSW in the opening minutes. Lachlan Campbell coming off from Kai Kamikura coming on early in the first half. Middleton combining with his midfield. Attack brewing here for Sydney FC. Lacey, nice neat pass. Middleton plays wide, ball driven in. Safekeeping by Prendergast. Of course, was an injury replacement in the 2020 A-League season with the Western Sydney Wanderers, so he also has A-League experience. Lynch has been demanding in the middle of that defence. And his experience here as they try and nurse their way to the first win of the year. A 1-0 lead. He's very cool under pressure, Grant Lynch. Kamikura. Ball played forward for Pufflet. Cuts it inside. Shot from Fulton. Off the body of Middleton. Could have easily been 2-0.
Set again. This is positive news. Set again. Okay.
Wood ventures forward. Pufflet. Harb sticks his leg out and then cleared to safety by Sydney FC. Next 3 games for UNSW. They've got the Western Sydney Wanderers at home back at the Village Green next weekend, followed by Sydney Olympic away and Blacktown City at home. So a few games where they may be able to pick up some points against teams near them on the ladder. Kamikura coming in. And it goes behind for a corner. So that's the way UNSW wanted that to play out. For Sydney FC, next week they're at home against Apia. So back here again at the Illidan, followed by away at Manly, and then at home to St George FC. So a tough 3-game run for Sydney FC if they drop this game. But still, they're in it. I think 2 goals will be very tough to come back from with a man down. Jyden Harb comes in. Kills it. Punched away. Oh, Slut. Kamikura. It's that one behind the byline. Just over an hour played, 1-0. Jack Fulton with the goal in the 37th minute. Got a red card after 20 to Reef Farias. Which means Sydney FC has to play 70 minutes with 1 less player. But they aren't going to die wondering. Mitch Glasson here. Camijo. Pufflet on the press. Lynch looking up, now over halfway. Bends a pass off the chest of Middleton. Camijo. Sydney FC go forward. Tay Headley controls that ball. Whips in a good ball. Just too heavy. So no shortage of chances for both sides. Sydney FC, despite the player down, they're not going to shy away. We know that. Kamikura keeps that ball in. Of course, a big game of football, big games of football tomorrow on the NPL New South Wales YouTube channel, NPL Men's First Grade. Nice turn from Pufflet. That can wait because UNSW are on the attack. Kamikura shapes the cross. He does that time. Was touched by Sydney FC on the way through. So it'll be a corner. 6 games. We start with SD Raiders and Manly, followed by Sydney Olympic and the Western Sydney Wanderers. Northwest Sydney Spirit take on Rockdale. Apia and Sutherland, and second versus third. So George FC taking on Marconi, and St George City taking on Wollongong. But for now, Friday night entertainment doesn't get much better than this. Jyden Harb at the corner flag. Delivering deep. Goes all the way over the other side. So anti-climax that one. Of course, don't forget about Sunday, the match of the round. Sydney United 58 taking on Blacktown City FC. Really exciting round of football, as it is every week, but this so very much. Neat ball, Glasson. Didn't time his run. Just a little bit in front on that occasion. And we are going to the substitutes bench, but it'll be for UNSW. Jackson Chambers on, as is Nathan Roberts. It'll be Emilio Vinci coming from the field, so double change. That was Vinci and Fulton off, Roberts and Chambers on. So like for like, Nathan Roberts, former St George City player. Very fast, keen to get involved. Here he is already. Getting himself into the game. Some fresh legs on 66 minutes. UNSW looking to bring it home. They lead by 1. Kamikura. Nice ball bent in. Duffy, was that a handball by Headley? Malfara. Pufflet wanted it back. Duffy looking inside. NSW happy to run these young Sky Blues around. Roberts wanted to play Pufflet, but that ball was snuffed out. Who's winning that second ball in midfield? Called Zach Fowler, who's got the bib off, so he's being primed and ready for Sydney FC. Duffy. Malfara, nice turn. The byline wanted the cross to go in. Pufflet. So numbers game wins out for UNSW. Malfara. Karowski. He's turned over. Lynch comes forward. Kamikura. Beats his challenge and just puts it over the bar. And we do have a substitution. Jordan Gorowski comes from the field. It'll be Zach Fowler, the new man. Can he provide the pivotal goal for the Sky Blues? Played his youth football for the Brisbane Roar Academy. Did Zach Fowler. Come down to Sydney FC. Going to see if he can have a say in getting his team the results. There's his first touch. Zach Fowler, they found him straight away. Fresh legs are so important. We approach the 70th minute mark. Fowler plays wide, ball whipped into the middle, over the head of Glasson. Roberts makes sure of it. Pufflet still down. Referee playing on. Looking for a ball in by Jesus. Glasson to provide it. Snuffed out and into touch. Good defending in the box. And we do have play stopped. Roberts helping out with the cramp. So ball possession at 60-40 for UNSW. Total shots 5 for UNSW and 4 for Sydney FC. Shots on target 4 for Sydney and 3 for UNSW. So stats relatively even. As Pufflett's back to his feet. The key shot on target that matters is the goal. And that's with goals with Jack Fulton and UNSW. Opportunity for Sydney FC. Cross comes down. Headley on the volley. That ball deflected and it'll be a corner. So it's only one goal, the margin. Still plenty of time for Sydney FC to jag a result. Headley being sent away. Deep corner. Headed down on the volley again and trickles wide. That could have been the equaliser from Middleton. Off his left foot. Lachlan Middleton. If he would have got it on target, we would have been level. Chambers down back. Lynch is pushed out to the left of the 3. Pufflets. Nice work to bring the ball inside. Roberts gets beaten out. Prendergast delivers for Pufflet. Headed on. Go back to the goalkeeper. Hoofslut. Camijo. Nice ball being hounded by Fowler. They've got no choice. They have to put it out behind. Throw in for Sydney.
Organised, comms!
Fowler. Headley looking forward. Referee waves away the challenge. Roberts sends Pufflet forward. The keeper's come out. If Pufflet gets it on line, he can't. Just wide. Would have been a long-range goal. Hoofslut, that was brave, coming out, putting pressure on Pufflet. But he couldn't put it in the centre and put it out of reach. So the result still in the balance. 1 goal is tricky, but 2 goals in this environment will be very tricky. Pufflets plays Harb, who was offside, according to assistant referee Greenshields. Ball into midfield, Glasson. Camijo sends it away from goal. Wood happy to watch it. Last touch of UNSW. Malfara on his haunches. More time being added to the clock. 15 minutes remaining of normal time. So we saw last week, particularly for a Sydney FC fan, in the dying minutes, in injury time, in fact, with one of the last kicks of the game. Sydney FC, their opposition, Sydney 9-58, were able to get a goal and win. So Sydney, they can take all the way to the end of injury time to get a goal and get a result. So they know they've got 15 minutes and a little bit of change. Words of instruction from the defenders of UNSW, and there will be a substitution. Sebastian Malfara will be coming off. He's run himself into the ground for UNSW. It'll be Connor Quilligan coming on. And Thomas Haynes will be entering the frame as well. So 18 Quilligan, 24 Haynes. Malfara departs from the far side of the ground. So there are 3 substitutes. Appears to be Corby Fowler who's made way. So a throw for Sydney. Fowler. Williams looks for his captain, Glasson. Nice turn. Nice touch off UNSW, so it'll be a corner. Off the set piece. The first goal of the game to UNSW was via a set piece, although not right from the set piece itself, but the remnants of it. Sydney FC will be hoping for the same. Ball curled in. Lacey on the volley. Lynch couldn't get rid of it well enough. The referee sent an infringement for offside. So how many more opportunities are Sydney FC going to get? They've enjoyed a long stretch of possession in good territory. Into midfield and thundered forward. Harp chasing. Pufflet on the end of it too. Nice footwork to get Roberts involved. It's a key goal. That's 2. And is the taste of victory starting to get on the lips of UNSW. They've gone 2 up with under 15 minutes remaining. Roberts will be recognised on the scoreboard, but how about the assist from Oliver Pufflet? A beautiful pass. And now that's 2 to the good. They've got the man advantage. They've got a 2-goal advantage. And this has become very difficult for Sydney FC all of a sudden. So the substitute, Nathan Roberts, is the man who provides the goal. Very good at doing that for St George City, but straight away, Fowler almost found his name on the score sheets. Pufflet played over the top again. He's onside. Oliver Pufflet waiting for troops to arrive. Squares it up, nicked on. And across the face it goes. Goal kick, so they say the last touch was via UNSW. And all of a sudden, the rate of cramp increases. Duffy trying to walk off that cramp. Long ball forward from Lacey. Free kick again for UNSW. So out comes the pickle juice. Gil Duffy. Ten minutes from time. 2-0. Advantageous header behind the byline, so it'll be a corner. UNSW, if they don't have it sewn up now, this will be the killer blow. Another set piece. They're queuing up in the box. Looking to be found by Jaden Harb. Jaden Harb looking up. Hooks it in, punch. Move slot. Headley running away from his attackers. So Headley takes the collision and wins the foul. Contest. Willigan one out there. And Lacey's fouled, so they will get a free kick. Lacey again. Fouled once more. And here come the substitutions. Two more. Marin France and Samuel Lancaster readying themselves. Tyler Williams comes off. Mitchell Glasson also making way. Lacey boots it towards a keeper, punched away by Prendergast. Lacey gets another chance. Duffy up the right. Pufflet chasing. He's played really well, Oliver Pufflet. Has an assist to his name. Duffy readying for the throw. Pufflet getting in front. Headley, nice move. Got all the tricks, these young Sky Blues. Usual riding the challenge and wins the free kick. Can they get one goal? 8 minutes of normal time remaining. If they can get one goal, they might spook UNSW. Your first win's always the hardest one. To get over the line for that first time here in the top flights. Be a throw for University. Winners of League One last year. They've had a couple of near misses thus far, a couple of results, 2 draws so far this season. 2-2 draw against Marconi and 1-1 against the SD Raiders. So they're not content with a draw. They want the jugular. They want it all tonight. And they may be 8 minutes away from doing that. Camisio, still very brave, playing out of the box. Sydney FC via Middleton. Here comes Sydney FC streaming forward. Players in the middle. That's catching practice for goalkeeper Tristan Prendergast. This result will jump UNSW, at least for tonight, into 13th position from 15th. So 15th coming into the round on 2 points. A win here would put them on 5 and jump them to 13th, ahead of Blacktown City, Sydney Olympic and the SD Raiders. So that's how close it is. Of course, Manly also on 5 as well, so put them into position to start working their way up the table. Sydney FC, it's hard to know. We've still so many games to go. That congestion in the middle of the table. The likes of Western Sydney Wanderers also on 9 to George City, but they don't get a chance to jump back into the top 6, which was the plan tonight. Headley. Lancaster, the Tasmanian. Ball intercepted. Duffy sends Pufflet on another run. Four minutes of normal time remaining. They're getting really close. UNSW. Players dropping back, just working off the counter. That'll be good enough at the moment. The Middletons combine. Lancaster involved once more. But it's UNSW who's just keep winning that second ball. Nicholas Alfaro, the man being readied. Tay Headley coming from the ground. Good shift from him. Lynch. Prendergast goes long looking for Roberts, who's really made a difference. Of course, he's got that second goal, which proved pivotal. That's a rash challenge from Quilligan. A yellow card issued to him. Joe Lacey struggling to get back to his feet. And then they say, take the free kick, Joe. It's a tough sport. Pufflet wins the ball and heads forward. Is there one more goal here for UNSW? Some icing on the cake. Roberts delivers and just gets in the way. Lancaster. You throw 18-yard box high. Last minute of normal time, just awaiting the minutes of injury time to come. Kurta's been very good and calculated at that corner flag all night. Middleton, Alfaro. Pass not quite finding the mark. Fourth official looking at his watch. Lancaster picks the pocket of the attacker, but it's Pufflet who has the final say. Harb gets in front. And that's a great save by Hofslut. Acrobatic from him. That would have been lucky number 3 for UNSW. Four minutes of injury time. That's all that awaits UNSW and their first win in NPL New South Wales men's. They'll hog the corner flag. Roberts over the head. Good use of the body. Alfaro wants it. He's done well. Jackson Chambers. Good defensive effort. Lacey tried to press. Quilligan getting in front. Kamikura hovers. Middleton venturing forward. Alfaro looks dynamite on the ball. Plays wide into the middle it goes. Header away. Middleton for his brother Jared. Towards a back stick, headed down. Safekeeping for Prendergast. Special story as well for Gabe Knowles. 2 promotions in the last 3 years. To really get your first win in first grade in the top flights of the state. That's really impressive, and that seals their seat there. Always remember your first. And tonight it's for UNSWFC. Prendergast has been faultless in goals. If they keep Sydney FC to 0, this will be their first clean sheet as well. Sydney FC have 2 already this season, but this will be the first one for the visitors. Away trips are always tough. They'll get their first points on the road as well. There's always games in your season that start to kickstart it. They've had a couple of near misses, but they won't miss tonight. Duffy. Wood. Really good in defence. Pufflett's been enormous up front. Roberts thought about a first-time cross. Lets his teammates venture forward, savour this. Happy to hold on to it. We've nearly had time elapse. Dying stages, Kamikura. Cross along the carpet. Middleton cleans up. Alfaro man on. The final whistle, and how sweet it is. That's UNSW's first win in NPL New South Wales men's first grade. It's taken 7 games, but it's here. For UNSW, a 2-0 victory over Sydney FC. Sydney FC played with 10 men for almost 70 minutes. goal in the first half for Jack Fulton. And in the second half, substitute Nathan Roberts gets the goal. But that's job done. Win number 1 for UNSW FC in NPL New South Wales men's. Fantastic result. They'll bounce into next week at home at the Village Green against the Western Sydney Wanderers. So another academy for them. For Sydney FC, that's their 3rd loss in a row. They'll head back home. They'll be here next week again against Apia. So another tough challenge. I'm Tony Soto. Thank you very much for enjoying us here on the coverage on the NPL New South Wales YouTube channel. It's UNSW's night tonight. They win 2-0 over Sydney FC.